In fighting terrorists, there's no fair play. There's no fair play. We have a problem and we need to solve this problem.
And we are here in Israel for a special series. We're joined by a very senior minister in the Netanyahu cabinet, Avi Dichter. Israel said very clearly that this is not going to be collective punishment. But when you look at what has happened, sir, a year later with close to 40,000 dead, large sections of Gaza devastated.
It's those people in Gaza, the civilians, the citizens in Gaza, the so-called uninvolved people,
Okay.
thousands of this third wave who welcomed their so-called heroes who murdered, kidnapped, and tortured people.
The longer you prolong the war, isn't that placing the hostages at risk, the remaining hostages?
To bring 101 hostages
Yes.
in a military special operation, it's pretty impossible. It may be possible to bring one, two, or few singles. It's hard to bring all of them.
You yourself, in an interview in November last year, said we are now rolling out the Gaza nakba. Nakba is, as we know, it was an incident in 1948 when 700,000 Palestinians were fleeing from their homes.
I know what I said. I don't know who translated it. I said it in Hebrew.
Don't you think that you're not safer than you were a year ago? Not just because of the death toll in Gaza, but if you look at the now tensions on other fronts that have opened up.
You know, we are living in the Middle East that logic sometimes lead you to a very bad situation. The State of Israel wouldn't have been established in 1948 if we would think about there are many people over there are 7 militaries of Arab countries,
Yes.
and we are a small tiny land, and we have to give up. And we decided to fight.
It's going to be 1 year since that horrific attack by Hamas. But when you look at what has happened 1 year later, Israel said very clearly that this is not going to be collective punishment. You're not targeting Gazans. But when you look at what has happened, sir, a year later, is there a case to be made, and as some are arguing now in the world, that the goals seem to have shifted? This has almost become like collective punishment.
In October 7th, when they penetrated, we speak about 2 waves. Practically, there were 3. The first wave were the terrorists themselves,
Right.
the terrorists of Hamas, the nakba. The second wave,
When you look at the huge number of deaths in Gaza, and one assumes that most of these are civilian deaths, it includes a large number of children as well. Are you saying that's justified because there was support for what happened in Gaza? Because your public goals were very clear. You said the goal is to eliminate Hamas, not punish the people of Gaza.
I mean, you cannot tell anyone, all right, they have an M16 rifle, we have to fight them with an M16 rifle. No. It's okay to fight against terrorists with an F-16 combat jet against an M16 rifle. If you look to fair play,
Yes.
you're going to pay with many of your soldiers.
One estimate finds that you've dropped over 70,000 tons of bombs on Gaza. This is more than bombs that were dropped on Dresden, Hamburg, and London during World War II.
When we decided to destroy the military infrastructure of Hamas and PIJ in Gaza,
Yes.
we're using all elements in order to reach this goal
Okay.
under 2 basic conditions. To make sure that innocent people won't get hurt,
Yes.
and to make sure that our losses amongst the soldiers will be as small as possible.
Okay.
These are the 2 conditions that we put in any strike.
But innocent people are getting killed. You would concede that, yes? Your predecessor at Shin Bet, Emi Aylon, has been quoted as saying the only way for Benjamin Netanyahu to survive is in power. That's it. It's the only way for him to make sure that the war will not come to an end.
I respect Emi Aylon very much. He's really a hero. When he was at the Navy SEALs, he was an admiral in the Navy. And as a matter of fact, he was head of Shin Bet, and I replaced him as head of Shin Bet. But then he became a politician.
You're saying this is a political
He's
statement?
He knows it's a political statement.
The Defense Minister, Yoav Gallant, has said Gaza will never return to be what it was. I have released all restraints. We use everything. The President has said on Gaza, it's an entire nation out there that is responsible. This rhetoric about civilians not aware, not involved, it's absolutely not true. The Deputy Speaker of the Knesset has said Israel is uniting in erasing the Gaza Strip from the face of the earth?
When we say, or Minister of Defense or anyone, when
Yes.
we say we're using all tools in order to reach the goal, it's well understood that we use all tools under the frame of law,
Right.
under the frame of command. We are military. We are a country. We have an international law and we obey an international law. And if you look into what's going on in Gaza Strip, one of the reasons why it takes so long is because we obey international law.
When you say you're following international law, the United Nations conducted an investigation into 6 bombing incidents during this war, and they found that the kind of bombs you'd use, the size of the bombs and on the targets, indicated a violation of the rules of war.
We are not going to count on the United Nations to solve our problems. At the end of the war,
Yes.
the war won't be ended before that.
Okay.
The Gaza Strip won't create any threat to the state of Israel, period.
फ्री में इतना ही मिलेगा. To watch the full unedited interview, you have to subscribe to News Laundry and pay to keep news free. Because we don't run an advertising. All our money comes from subscribers like you. And that is how public service journalism is paid for. All the studio lights, the cameras, all that you see on our website, it all comes from subscribers. So do subscribe, click on the subscription link, watch all the interviews unedited, and pay for public interest journalism.